All right, let's go. Hey everyone, Marissa here. If you are an old viewer who is somehow still subscribed to this channel, or if you just stumbled across this video, hi, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. Long time no see. And if you are a new viewer, welcome. It has been about 8 months since I last posted my last YouTube video, completely unintentionally. I have in that interim been drafting videos and recording them and sitting on the footage and not editing it. So that's 100% my bad. I don't really have a reason why I pulled back so much on videos this year other than the fact that work has been absolutely bonkers and I have been spending my non-work energy elsewhere. Now that things have started to open up slightly after the restrictions of last year, I have been trying to go and experience things in person and hang out with friends in person. I've just been out here experiencing life, spending energy on other hobbies, but I am excited to say that I am officially coming back at you with hopefully one video a week going forward, fingers crossed. I always feel like I'm going to jinx myself when I announce something like that, but I genuinely am very excited to get back into making videos. I do have some pre-filmed content that will be coming at you that actually was pre-filmed so long ago that sweater weather has already started to come back around. So yeah, I just kind of want to work through the things that I have pre-filmed and then get some new content out there. I'm also going to probably start branching out into kind of new, possibly random areas in my videos, simply because I have come to terms with the fact that I will never be reading at that same level that I was when I initially started this channel as a purely booktube oriented channel. We're gonna still talk about books and reading, and we're still gonna review things, but it's going to be interspersed with other content. I'm going to bring in some art stuff. I'm going to bring in some more organization productivity stuff. And then we'll just see where we go from there. For today, I thought we could ease back into things with a good old-fashioned September roundup video. These are basically my monthly summary videos in which I talk about the content that I've created since the last time I talked to you all. I talk about anything going on in my life that I would like you to know about, and I, most excitingly, talk through some recent favorites. Starting off with content, of course, there's not much to talk to you about, seeing as I have only posted 2 videos so far this year, but what can you do? The first video that I put up this year was my 2020 favorites video, in which I talked through all of the podcasts, books, music, and TV shows that I have been or had been enjoying in 2020. I had a lot of fun filming that video, and if you haven't seen it yet, I will link that video and everything else that I mention in the description box below. The only other video I have put up so far this year was a memoir review video in which I talked about 3 memoirs by women in different levels of politics. So one was by somebody on the staffer level, one was a presidential candidate, and the other was a policy expert and appointed in an appointed position. Blah. I know that political reads aren't everybody's cup of tea, so I think in the future, when I do talk about political books, I'm going to try and do that again where I group them together. That way, if they're not something people are interested in, they can just skip that one video altogether. So my list here tells me we are to life updates, and I guess because this is September, I do have one big life update, which is that I turned 30. That is so weird to say. I turned 30 this month, and I don't really feel any different. I think my parents feel older than I do, knowing that their oldest is now 30. Initially, I was gonna do a video entitled 30 Lessons on My 30th Birthday, and I actually went through the trouble of drafting the video and starting to film it, but it was so very, very long that none of you would have wanted to sit through it. I didn't want to sit through editing it, so I ended up scrapping about halfway through, but it ended up being a really nice kind of reflection on 30 years, and it made me realize that I have learned a lot more than I thought, and that I have picked up some wisdom and kind of figured out my path in life, and yeah, it was a good exercise. And if you have a birthday coming up, I would recommend that you do something similar. Around my birthday, I was able to take a few days off so that I could, relax and go into 30 feeling refreshed and all of that. But one of the things that I did on those days off was go to Disneyland. Now, I was a little nervous because obviously we are still in a bit of a pandemic situation, and I was unsure if once I got there, I would feel like, no, 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 too many people. But I ended up having an absolute blast. Granted, it was like 97 degrees that day, so I definitely didn't feel the best physically throughout the day, but Disneyland was at like maybe a third capacity, and it was so very nice to like wait in very short lines. I think the longest line we waited in the whole day was about 30 minutes long, and that was for Pirates of the Caribbean because it is air conditioned, and like I mentioned, it was 97 degrees out. I got to experience the Star Wars area for the very first time, you know, the whole like Black Spire, Batu corner of Disneyland, and it was, I mean, I want to go back again just so that I can like walk around and take in all of the detail. It is absolutely astonishing what they have done with the whole dressing and design of that area of the park. And if you haven't gotten to go and you're not going to be able to soon, I would just look up some pictures, look up some of the concept art and maybe some of the release photos. But it is stunning how much you actually feel like you are in a Star Wars movie. We got to obviously approach and take a photo with the Millennium Falcon. We got to go into the cantina. I did not unfortunately get to go on the newest ride, but I did go on Smuggler's Run and get to like launch missiles from the Falcon and everything. And it was just, it totally appealed to my little nerdy Star Wars heart. I did make a lightsaber, which I actually have not included in this favorites segment today because it's just like massive and I don't know how to fit it in the frame, but I will insert a picture of me here feeling very excited and very, very happy to have my hands on one. So that was probably the highlight of my year. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've been anywhere that busy since 2020, and while there were certain moments where I was like, okay, this was kind of a lot of people, everybody was masked, they were enforcing, which made me feel better, and in general it was just a really fun, exciting day, and I'm very, very glad and feel very, very grateful that I got to go. Something else that I personally find very exciting, and that hopefully you will as well, is that since August I have been working towards relaunching my Etsy shop on the 10th of October. I've had my Etsy shop, LittleSpiderCreates, since I want to say 2016, and I've never really put a ton of time and effort into it. It was always just kind of a means by which I shared art that I was already creating. So I've never offered a ton of products or really like updated it seasonally or even year to year. However, this year I have been making a concerted effort to set aside time to get back into art. And most excitingly, I just upgraded my iPad and got into Procreate for the first time. So I have basically been creating all this fun stuff that I want to share with people. Yeah, I'm really nervous because I, like I said, have never put a ton of effort into the Etsy shop. So I never really felt disappointed if, you know, I only made like a couple of sales or if nobody paid attention or looked at it, but I'm actually like really excited and really putting some effort into it this time. So hopefully you all will go check out my Etsy shop and just let me know what you think. Let me know if any of it looks exciting. And if you would like kind of updates on the shop progress, probably the best place to go is my Instagram account for the shop, which is just LittleSpiderCreates. Because I'm going to be sharing previews and fun stuff over there. Hey everyone, Editing Marissa here, popping in real quick. First of all, if you can hear my laptop freaking out in the background, apologies. MacBook Air's not made for video editing. Anyways, it occurred to me that when I initially filmed this video, I had not yet gotten my products in, so I didn't show them to you, but I have them now. Essentially, my Etsy shop, LittleSpiderCreates, is I guess like a micro stationery shop. I don't mean the stationery is small, I mean the shop is very, very small. Like I don't offer that many products. At the moment, I'm doing postcards, I'm doing downloadable coloring sheets, and then this year, for the first time ever, I have stickers that I'm offering. So what should I show you first? Let's go with the postcards because that's like my most classic product, if you will. I do have two older postcard designs that I had some extra stock of, so I'm going to re-release those as kind of my classic designs, and they're going to be at a discounted price as well. But I also have 3 new fall designs, which I'm very, very excited about. I did all of these in Procreate, and I'm just insanely happy with how they turned out. So first of all, I have a pumpkin patch design, which can be, you know, vertical like this, or you could do horizontal if you wanted. This is basically a coloring sheet design that is on offer right now on my shop, which I then filled in Procreate and just like tried to make as vibrant as possible. And I really like how this one turned out. I then also have
a little witchy design. Oops. Sorry, I'm doing this like on my laptop. Very professional. This is like a little witchy design, perfect for this time of year, a little Halloween vibes. These are all in like a semi-gloss 4x6 size, in case you're interested. And then the last postcard design, the last new one that I have, is the one I'm most excited about. This is the Milkweed and Monarchs design. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of obsessed with this one. I love these cards. Again, it's that semi-gloss and they're blank on the back. So if you want to use them as art prints, you can. If you want to use them as postcards, you can. If you want to use them as just normal cards and stick them in an envelope, you could do that as well. And then I have stickers, as I mentioned, for the first time. I have a Monarch sticker to go with that card. That's the same design. And then I have a little California live oak branch. As you can see, these are pretty glossy. These are vinyl, and while I'm not 100% confident saying that they are like 100% waterproof, I have put them on my Hydro Flask and I've washed them, and I think as long as you don't completely soak them for extended periods of time in water, I think you're totally fine. But these are little vinyl stickers. These are about like 1.8 by like 1.9 inches, so just under 2 inches. So this is what's going to be going live on the shop October 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I would really appreciate it if you would just go check them out. Even if you can't or don't want to purchase something, it would really help me out too if you could share my store or share one of my Instagram posts. Again, everything will be linked in the description box below. Anyways, I'll shut up now. Let's get on with the rest of the video. Thank you.
All right, that's probably enough rambling about that. Let's go ahead and get into some favorites. And speaking of Etsy, the first favorite I wanted to share with you is actually an Etsy shop, because I have been following different illustrators and creators and indie business owners for a while, and just realized that I have a platform here and I can actually, you know, hopefully do my part with my small audience to shout them out and share the love a little. So the creator I wanted to highlight this month is Jasmine from the Etsy shop Lovely Mine. I have been stalking her on Instagram for a while now because her illustration style is honestly just so stinking cute. I personally found Jasmine while searching for Studio Ghibli inspired art, because she does have art inspired by a couple of different Studio Ghibli films. Me personally, I ordered some of her Keys delivery service prints for my birthday gift to myself. So this one is Kiki in front of the bakery, which is just so cute. And then here we have Kiki and Gigi at her bedroom window. To go with the prints, I also ordered a set of her bread stickers, which are again absolutely adorable. This is just one of the designs, but the other two are already stuck onto various items that I own. And then there was actually a tiny bit of a mix-up with my order, and I accidentally got some of her what are these, like enamel clips as well. So, you know, you can imagine what the stickers would look like based off this bread, cat bread. And then this is Coco, her own like original character. And I just want to say that Jasmine's customer service is absolutely amazing. I reached out, she responded right away and resent my stickers, and actually allowed me to keep the clips too, despite the fact that they were sent to me on accident. So thank you very much, Jasmine. And if you are interested in any of her prints, I would really suggest that you check out her shop and follow her on Instagram, because she posts cute things 24/7, and I know that I personally need more of that in my life right now. Artsy things aside, I actually have a lot of tech favorites that I wanted to share with you. So we're gonna go in order of like physical to apps that I can't physically hold up and show you. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to my new baby, which is a little weird to say about a keyboard, but that's honestly how I feel about this thing. This is my Keychron K4 wireless mechanical keyboard. I got this, I want to say like end of spring going into summer this year, when I was tired of absolutely killing my fingers on the fake Apple Magic keyboard that I purchased at the start of work from home. Now there are like 1,000,001 different mechanical keyboards out there, but I personally went with Keychron because one, I was looking for something that was Bluetooth, which this is. Two, I was also really drawn to the fact that this was affordable. And three, most excitingly, this is switchable layout wise, does this make sense? Basically, it has a Mac iOS mode and a Windows mode. So all you do is you change the switch here, you toggle to whatever operating system you're running, and then your keyboard basically reformats itself to match that keyboard configuration, which is super, super helpful because I personally do everything for my personal self on a MacBook Air, but I have a work laptop that is a Dell. So I really like that I can switch between, both iOS and Windows or Microsoft settings. Let's see if I can get you to see. Oh, there you go. You can get it with like RGB backlights, but I'm not a gamer or, wasn't gonna be using this aesthetically for like videos or anything. So I just went with the white backlights, but I absolutely love this thing. I was never really into mechanical keyboards before, but I was just looking for something that would be easier on my fingers. And while this might look like it would actually require more finger pressure, I honestly feel like I'm typing on a cloud. It's super soft touch. I got their red switches and it's just really nice. My brother also picked up a Keychron in a different model. I needed a 10 key and he did not. But we both basically sit in rooms next to each other typing on these, and they're really not that loud. So like you can hear that they're clicky enough to be satisfying, but they're not so loud that if we're both on separate Zoom calls, we're not completely annoying the other person. Then the other techie favorite I had to mention is, of course, my new iPad. I previously had a super, super old iPad mini 4, and finally this summer decided, you know what? I just need to trade it in. So I traded in for basically what people call like the budget iPad. This is just the standard iPad 8, not a Pro or anything fancy like that. I got it in white with the first generation Apple Pencil. First of all, the Apple Pencil is just a total game changer. For the longest time, I was like, I don't really need one, but honestly, I use it all of the time, specifically with Procreate. And if you are interested in following along the Etsy journey, you'll see that most of the products that I am launching right now are done in Procreate, simply because I don't really have access to a super great scanner at the moment. So I'm having a hard time with like watercolor designs that I used to do. Aside from using this for Procreate, this is mainly my media consumption device. So I mainly use it for watching videos and like reading. But I do also like that it is a bit of a bigger screen. So if I want to say do note taking in Notion on here or on another app like OneNote, or if I want to, do work emails or something on here without having to take my laptop with me, I totally can. Initially, I was concerned about the larger size, thinking it would be too big for me or just annoying, but actually I really, really like that this is bigger than the mini, because I really do utilize all of that screen real estate, if that makes sense. If you would like a more detailed look at my iPad, maybe a what's on my iPad video, let me know. I don't know if that's something y'all are interested in, but I personally quite love those videos. So maybe I will just do it for me because, pivoting to fun content. Wasn't that what I said? I should also say that whenever I film a video, this is what I use to read through my outline. Aside from Procreate, which I've already mentioned, the fantabulous drawing app that I'm practically the last person on the planet to start using, I've also been really into the app Notion, which I may or may not have mentioned before on this channel. Notion is basically like an all-in-one database creation and note-taking app, and it literally is changing my life. I've said that twice now, but quite frankly, it's like the most flexible tool I've ever used, and has actually, shock horror, replaced my bullet journal. Dun dun dun. Definitely gonna be doing videos on Notion coming up. I have at least 2 planned, and then we'll see based off of those 2 videos if you all would like to see something more in depth. But really been enjoying Notion. I use it for both personal use and at my job, and it's just honestly like totally helping with like task overwhelm, if that makes sense. Now lastly, for a less techie app, I have to mention TikTok. I was 100% one of those millennials that downloaded TikTok like earlier this year and was like, you know what? This is a kids app. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not super into it. And now it's actually one of my favorite content creation apps. I should specify that I am not personally making a ton of content on TikTok quite yet. Maybe I will at some point, but it gives me early Instagram vibes where people are just being creative. Obviously there are TikTok influencers, so yes, people are making money on the platform, but for the most part, it still has that really organic, creative spark feel, and I quite like that. Okay, music favorites. Weirdly, I've been really into lo-fi this year. Not quite sure why. I have listened to it on and off for the last couple of years, but this year I've just found it is kind of the perfect background music because there's enough dynamism in the music, if you will, to keep me interested, but it's also ambient enough that it's not distracting. So I've been listening to a lot of lo-fi, and one, I guess, record label on Spotify I would recommend for you guys to check out is Inner Ocean Records. They have a couple general lo-fi playlists, and then they also have a lo-fi and ambient playlist for sleep, which is really, really great if you like me have a hard time falling asleep. I've really been enjoying that one. And then one other artist I wanted to mention, Mini Trees. You can listen to her stuff on Spotify as well, and she describes herself as like living room pop, but I would classify her as like lo-fi meets indie skate pop, if that makes sense. I do have a few YouTubers that I wanted to mention. I mentioned in my 2020 favorites video that I got really into these kind of like silent ASMR-esque vloggers, mainly Asian women living very aesthetically pleasing lives. And that trend is still alive and well right now. One creator I'm super into at the moment is Hami Mummy. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. She's basically a mommy vlogger who does a lot of like cook with me, clean with me, and just like eco-friendly house stuff style vlogs, just like daily house chores, ambient noise. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want right now. The other channel I wanted to mention is a channel called Love Soup. She is, I believe, a Thai illustrator living and working in Japan, and her channel is like a mix of like ASMR vlog with like art talk and illustration behind the scenes and things like that. As for TV shows, there's only one show I'm actively watching at the moment, and it should be no surprise, Ted Lasso. In the very unlikely event that you are unaware, Ted Lasso is a show about an American football coach who gets hired to go across the pond and coach soccer or British football, European football, what the rest of the world calls football. And while Ted knows basically nothing about the game of soccer, he does know a lot about positivity, motivating his players, and just being an overall great guy. And we are now in season 2 of this lovely show, and from what I understand, they really cleaned up the Emmys this year because, like I said, everybody's watching this. I will be the first person to say that my taste in television is, I wouldn't say darker, but it tends to be a little on the heavier side. I'm not normally one to gravitate towards comedies, and if I want something light and fluffy, I typically go to slice of life anime. However, Ted Lasso is exactly what we need right now, and that's why I think, well, it's one of the reasons I think it's doing so very well among viewers right now, because it is light, it is rom-com adjacent, it is funny, and yet it's also deeply heartfelt and emotional, and you really do get invested in every single character. I have never watched a comedy that made every single character just so very multidimensional, and I honestly think it deserves all the awards and all the accolades that it is getting. We're basically almost at the end of season 2, I believe, at this point, and what my brother and I have been doing is saving up 2 weeks worth of episodes, 2 Fridays worth of episodes, and then watching them back to back, because we are completely incapable of just watching one episode at a time. It might actually drive us insane. Very sad about the impending end of the season, but like, the reveal in the last episode I watched, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but holy crap, I need to watch the next 2 episodes. And then lastly, because this video is going to be so very long, I have one movie favorite, which hopefully you can guess. Okay, got your guesses in? Shang Chi. I have been excited about Shang Chi since Marvel announced that they were going to be doing it, because you know I'm always down for some more Asian representation in Hollywood. And there's just so much about this movie that I loved. So let me try and summarize. So Shang Chi is a story about an average guy who's in a dead-end job with his best friend, and then one day accidentally reveals to her that he is from a completely different world and has a completely different set of abilities. That's all I want to say, because I don't want to spoil anything about it, because I went in knowing absolutely nothing and thoroughly enjoyed the ride. But this movie is about friendship, it's about family, it's about living up to expectations, whether they're your own or your family's. And I don't know, it was just so good. The fight choreography in this film is, in my personal opinion, the best fight choreography in any Marvel movie to date. Maybe that's a bold claim. Maybe I'm biased because I enjoyed it so much. I don't know, but because it's not a ton of like intergalactic, out of this world powered people going at each other, you could really appreciate the artistry and like dance of it all, if that makes sense. So yeah, highly impressed with the fight choreography. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Character dynamic wise, Katie and Shang Chi, or Sean, very much gave me like Ned and Peter in Spider-Man Homecoming vibes, because they had that kind of like bestie banter going on. And I really enjoyed the fact that you had a male character and a female character who were best friends. I felt towards the end of the movie, potentially leading towards more, but I really enjoyed that as a girl who's always had best guy friends who I was not romantically involved with. I really appreciated seeing that on screen, but probably the most like impactful thing for me was just seeing Asian family dynamics and Asian American family dynamics specifically duplicated so very well. The specificity of like Chinese American from San Francisco that they showed felt so very authentic to me and to my personal lived experience. In sum, Shang-Chi was everything I had hoped for and more. Quite frankly, I would watch just endless shows or movies set in that universe, or in that corner of the Marvel universe rather, and I cannot wait to see where they take his character going forward. And with that, that is all I had to share with you in today's video. So if you have stuck through this extraordinarily long, rambly video, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any recent favorites or shows or books or anything like that that you have been enjoying lately, that you would like to share, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I always really appreciate that. Also, I have slowly but surely been getting back into BookTube. So if you have any videos that you have made recently that you are very excited about, or you think have recommendations that I might like, please feel free to also let me know that in a comment below, because honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed after not really watching BookTube for like a year and a half. I don't really know where to start. So any advice would be highly appreciated. But lest I continue to ramble, that's all for today. So thank you so very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for their continued support, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.